On March 27th, I walked in my backyard and I found my dad passed away. I had my best friend by my side when I found him, and my mother was inside.
So this happened in what year?
This happened in 2006.
What was you and your dad's relationship like?
And, uh, it was TV. Really, I mean, it was the movie relationship. We got along. I love my dad with all my heart. We never fought a lot. We were always doing everything together, hunting, fishing, building stuff together, working on his truck, anything like that.
So how old were you when he died?
I believe I was 11 years old when he passed away. It's hard to see your dad, like that, in that situation, to find him like that, and it's just the memories, the visualizations, the nightmares, they don't ever go away.
Tell me about the nightmares.
Man, I mean, it starts off, I relive the day pretty much.
How often?
It happens every month, at least once or twice a month.
Still?
Yeah.
And you're 17 now.
Yep, I'm 17.
So for 6 years, you've been having these nightmares.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gotten better.
Let me ask you this: what time do you catch yourself waking up in the middle of the night? Do you ever look?
It's usually when I'm like really exhausted, like I've played a baseball game, and it's usually like 1 o'clock, like 1 or 2 o'clock. Like it's really like sudden, like I hadn't been asleep that long. So
If you think back to the time that you wake up, is it ever around 3 o'clock?
The last one I remember was at 1:45. I'd looked over at the clock. I had checked my phone to make sure, and that was the earliest one I remember. Usually it's either 1 or 12 or something like that. It's never been over 2 o'clock, I think.
Mm-hmm. What time do you go to bed?
School nights usually go to bed around 11:30. Try to get to bed around 11:30.
So you've only been asleep for maybe 2 hours
Yeah.
before you have this nightmare.
Oh yeah, and sometimes, I mean, it's when I just don't even expect it. I mean, because usually sometimes, like, I can kind of tell I can't go to sleep. I'm having these, these just visualizations in my head. I kind of can't really tell, but this one, sometimes it just hit me blindside, and those are the worst. Because you wake up sweating and crying, and you have the covers off you, and you're just laying there, just like reliving the day. It's horrible. And my mom has the same thing.
She wakes up too?
Oh yeah.
She tells you about it?
Yeah, she has it. She has it worse than me. Because I mean, I only saw him, and I turned around and I ran for the back door, telling my mom to call 911. So she was actually the one on the phone with the operator, telling her what happened and what she looks like and stuff like that.
How did he commit suicide?
He shot himself through his mouth. I guess it came out the back. I don't really know. When I walked over to him, there was blood in his mouth. So that's what I saw.
So what are your nightmares like?
They pretty much consist of when I left the house. I left the house around 10 o'clock. I was with my best friend, who's still my best friend. My dad was sitting in a recliner. Told him I loved him. I walked out the door with my mom and my best friend. We went to go shopping that day, and we came back home, and me and my mom were getting in an argument, and I was in trouble just like every other day with my mom, and we drove up, and me and my friend, just walked around the back So on the back, I guess we were going to go feed the horses or something like that. And my mom walked out the back and she goes, "Where's your dad?" And I said, "I don't know. Is he not inside?" She said, "No." And I said, "Okay." And she looked over at the backyard and the trees and she said, "What's your dad doing laying on the ground?" You know, because usually he goes out there and he'll stretch his back and he'll try to pop his back or something like that. And I walked over and said, "I don't know." And I said, "Dad, Dad," and he didn't move. And I walked over, and that's when I saw the gun in his hand and blood in his mouth. And I turned to my mom and I said, "Call 911."
And so this is the same dream that you have?
Yeah, it'll
every
just
time.
relive. Yeah.
Same thing every night.
Yeah. Same words. I mean, same everything. And I think the worst part about the dream is I got away from my mom finally. She told me not to go to the back door or anything, and I finally got away from my mom, and I saw them put a body bag over my dad, and I said, that's when it really hits you. Is you know it's not a dream. You know you're not waking up. You know, it's when they put that body bag over.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So when you went to the funeral, how was that?
We had the funeral at my grandma's church that she goes to, Genesis Lutheran Church in Buchanan Dam, Texas. The pastor was the nicest guy you've ever meet. His name is Ken. It was the hardest day of my life, to be honest with you.
So Cody, I'm going to give you a chance to talk to your dad.
Okay.
And you have 2 minutes to tell him anything that you want to say.
You might get me on this one.
2 minutes. That's all you got.
Okay.
Imagine that he's... first of all, I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
And imagine that he's in this room. He's in this room and he's watching you. There's something that you wish that you would have said to him, but you didn't get a chance to. So with your eyes closed, I want you to picture his face. Picture what he looks like, what he smells like. Listen to the sound of his voice. Think about the times that y'all had. Think about the fact that he's watching you right now. That he's been with you for the last 6 years. Not physically, but he's been watching you. Everything you do. You got 2 minutes to tell him anything you want. With your eyes closed, go.
Man. I wanted to tell you how much I love you. And I'm sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. But, you know, I'm thankful that I got to tell you that I loved you. And, you know, I know that it wasn't your fault. And I know you didn't do it on purpose. And I know you would never do that to me and my mom. But I think it's made me a better man and a better person that this happened. And it made me a stronger relationship with God. And I know no one will ever replace you in my heart. You'll always be my dad. No matter what. And I miss you more than anything in this world. And I hope you can forgive me for some of the things that I've said. Because I was angry at you for a lot of years. And, you know, I'm sorry that I blame myself sometimes for it. But, you know, I know that it was It was God's work, and you know, just I thank Him for the time that I did get with you, and I think that it'll help me if I ever have children to be a better father to them, because no kid should be without their father. And I love you, Dad, more than anything in this world. And I miss you. And my mom misses you, and she loves you.
So how did you end up at Camp Agape?
My mom had knew the lady who worked at the ranch that Camp Agape was on. And she heard about it over the internet, and I didn't want to go. I told her, I was like, I'm not going. I was like, this is crazy, you know. I'm not leaving your side, because when you lose your parent, you go into protective mode. And I went into protective. I wouldn't leave my mom's side. I was not going to lose my mom. You know, I did anything. Oh, you're going to the store? I'm going with you. You know, and I didn't want to leave her side. And she made me go, and you know, it was the best. It was probably the best thing that happened.
How old were you the first time you went?
First time I went, I was 11. I would went that summer. Yeah, I went that summer.
So, what was it like being 11-year-old, where your dad had committed suicide, and you're in here with a bunch of strange kids? What was it like for you?
It was scary.
Why was it scary?
Just because. I think it's because you can't talk to your parents. You can't be there with your mom, you know, you can't be there, you know, just to make sure she's okay, and you get scared, you know, you just lost, you know, someone you love the most, and now you're away from the only one that you have left, that's your parent. And I think that's why a lot of kids, you know, they're scared. You know, they don't want anything happen to that other parent, because they already know they've lost one. They don't want anything happen to the other one.
So you went the first year, and then when did you start volunteering to come back?
Well,
let me back up. Don't answer that question just yet. What did you think about Camp Agape that year that you came?
I thought it was amazing. You know, it really helped me go through my emotions, feel what I was feeling inside, you know, what I felt, what I could express my feelings more. You know, I knew what my feelings were. I knew how to get them out, and it just helped me so much. You know, let me know that it was gonna be okay. You know, that even though my dad passed away, and it was gonna be all right. You know, and it was hard for me. It was so hard for me. You know, but it was the best thing. I think this is the best thing for a kid after they lose a loved one, is to come to this camp.
So there's a kid who's 10 or 11 who's going to watch this video. He's just lost his dad.
Yeah.
This year. And he's watching this video, and he's telling his mom, I do not want to go. And he sees this video of you. What are you going to tell him?
Man, you will not regret it. You won't. I mean, I know you're going to miss your mom. You know, it's going to be hard, but you won't regret this. This is the best thing that will happen to you. It will help you get through this loss that you went through. You know, I lost my dad. I know how it feels. I can't say that it's the same emotions that you have, but you need to come to this camp. It will help you.
Awesome.